Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something that a lot of people don't talk about openly. Men may look complicated. They may act tough, and sometimes they don't always say what they feel, but deep down, most men want something very simple when it comes to a woman. I'm going to share with you something real today. Every man secretly wants a woman who carries certain qualities, certain traits that make him feel like he's found something special. Not just beautiful on the outside, but powerful on the inside. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something that many people misunderstand when it comes to relationships. A lot of people think men are only focused on looks, attraction, or excitement. But if you sit down and really talk to men honestly, if you get them to open up about what truly touches their hearts, you'll find something deeper. One of the most powerful things every man secretly wants in a woman is respect and appreciation. Now listen carefully, because this is where many relationships either grow stronger or slowly fall apart. Respect to a man is not just a nice thing to have. It is one of the most important emotional needs he has. A man can go through all kinds of challenges in the world. He may face pressure at work, expectations from society, responsibilities toward family, and countless obstacles trying to prove himself. Life demands a lot from men, but when he comes home to a woman who respects him, something powerful happens inside him. You see, respect tells a man that he matters. It tells him that his efforts are seen. It tells him that the woman in his life values who he is and what he's trying to build. A man doesn't need a woman to think he's perfect. He doesn't need a constant praise. But what he does need is acknowledgement that he is trying, that he is working, that he is doing his best. When a woman appreciates the things a man does, even the small things, it gives him energy. Imagine a man who wakes up every day, goes out into the world, works hard, deals with stress, and comes home feeling invisible. That kind of situation slowly drains him. But when he walks through the door and hears words of appreciation, when he feels that his partner values him, suddenly that same hard work begins to feel meaningful. Appreciation is powerful because it fuels a man's desire to give more. When a man feels respected, he naturally wants to protect, provide, and care for the woman who gives him that feeling. It inspires him to become a better version of himself. Respect is not about control or submission. It is about recognizing a person's worth and effort. Now, let me explain something else that many people don't realize. Respect isn't just about the words you say when things are going well. True respect shows up especially during disagreements. Every relationship will face challenges. There will be moments of frustration, misunderstandings, and arguments. That's normal. But the way those moments are handled makes all the difference. When a woman chooses to communicate without attacking a man's dignity, when she expresses her feelings without belittling him, she protects the respect within the relationship. And a man never forgets that. A man can handle criticism, but what hurts deeply is feeling humiliated or constantly torn down by the person he loves. Ladies and gentlemen, appreciation also means recognizing the effort behind the action. Sometimes men express love through what they do rather than what they say. A man may not always be the most expressive with words, but he might be showing love through his actions. He might work longer hours to provide stability. He might fix things around the house. He might try to solve problems or take care of responsibilities. When those actions are noticed and appreciated, it strengthens the emotional bond between two people. A simple acknowledgement can mean more to a man than you might realize. When a woman says, I see what you're doing, and I appreciate it. Those words stay with him. Another thing about respect is that it creates emotional safety. When a man feels respected by a woman, he becomes more open. He becomes more willing to share his thoughts, his fears, and even his dreams. Many men grow up believing they must hide vulnerability. Society often teaches men to stay strong and never show weakness. But when a woman treats a man with genuine respect, she creates a space where he feels safe enough to be himself. That is when a deeper connection begins to grow. Respect allows both people in a relationship to feel valued instead of judged. Now let's talk about appreciation in everyday life. Appreciation doesn't have to be grand gestures or dramatic moments. In fact, it's often the small things that matter the most. A kind word, a supportive smile, a simple thank you, or recognizing the effort someone puts into the relationship can make a huge difference. When appreciation becomes part of daily life, it creates a positive atmosphere between two people. Instead of feeling like they're constantly being criticized, both partners begin to feel seen and valued. That kind of environment allows love to grow naturally. And here's something very important to understand. When a man feels deeply respected by a woman, he develops a strong sense of loyalty toward her. He begins to see her as someone who understands him and stands beside him. That feeling is incredibly powerful for a man. Respect also influences how a man treats a woman. When he feels valued, he is more likely to give the same energy back. He becomes more attentive, more protective, and more committed to maintaining the relationship. Respect creates a cycle where both partners lift each other up instead of pulling each other down. Ladies and gentlemen, the truth is that respect and appreciation are not complicated ideas. They come from simple human understanding. They come from recognizing that every person wants to feel valued by the one they love. When that respect exists, relationships become stronger, communication becomes healthier, and emotional connection grows deeper. A man who feels respected by the woman in his life will never take that lightly, because in a world that constantly tests him, having someone who sees his worth and appreciates his effort becomes one of the most meaningful things he can experience. And when a woman offers that kind of respect and appreciation sincerely, she becomes someone truly unforgettable in a man's life. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about something that sits deep in the heart of every strong relationship. Yet many people overlook it or underestimate its power. One of the things every man secretly wants in a woman is loyalty and trust. These two qualities form the backbone of emotional security for a man. Without them, even the strongest attraction or the most exciting romance can slowly fade away. Now understand this clearly. A man lives in a world where he constantly has to prove himself. Every day he faces expectations from society, from work, from family, and even from himself. He is expected to be strong, capable, dependable, and successful. With all these pressures, what a man truly hopes for is a partner who stands beside him with genuine loyalty. Not someone who is only present when things are easy, but someone who stays committed even when life becomes difficult. Loyalty means much more than simply staying in a relationship. It means being emotionally committed to the person you love. It means showing through actions and words that you are on the same team. When a man feels that the woman in his life truly stands with him, something powerful happens. He begins to feel secure in the relationship, And that security allows love to grow deeper. See, trust and loyalty create a foundation where both people can be themselves without fear. When a man knows his partner is loyal, he doesn't constantly worry about betrayal, disrespect, or emotional distance. Instead, he feels calm and confident in the relationship. That peace of mind is something every man deeply values. A loyal woman shows her commitment not only when her partner is winning, but also when he is struggling. Life is unpredictable. There will be moments when things don't go according to plan. There will be times when a man faces setbacks, disappointments, or failures. During those moments, loyalty becomes incredibly meaningful. When a woman stays supportive and continues to believe in him during tough times, it builds a bond that cannot easily be broken. A man never forgets who stood beside him when things were uncertain. Loyalty during difficult moments shows a level of love that goes beyond convenience. Trust also plays an essential role in making a relationship healthy. Trust means believing in each other's intentions and respecting the boundaries of the relationship. When a man trusts the woman he is with, he feels comfortable opening up emotionally. He doesn't feel the need to hide parts of himself or constantly defend his actions. Many men struggle to express vulnerability because they fear being judged or misunderstood. But when trust exists in a relationship, a man begins to feel safe enough to share his real thoughts, concerns, and dreams. That emotional openness strengthens the connection between two people. Another important part of loyalty is how a partner represents the relationship when the other person is not present. A loyal woman protects the relationship even when her partner isn't around. She speaks with respect about him. She defends him when necessary, and she avoids actions that would damage the trust they have built. This kind of loyalty sends a powerful message to a man. It shows that the relationship is valued and protected. Knowing that the woman he loves honors their bond, even in his absence, creates a deep sense of pride and gratitude. Now let's talk about emotional loyalty as well. Emotional loyalty means being fully invested in the relationship instead of seeking validation or attention from outside sources. When a woman focuses her emotional energy on building the connection with her partner, it strengthens the bond they share. A man wants to feel that he holds a meaningful place in the heart of the woman he loves. When he knows that her attention, care, and emotional support are genuinely directed toward him, it builds a strong feeling of importance and connection. Trust also grows through consistency. A man feels secure when a woman's actions match her words. Consistency builds credibility in a relationship. When someone repeatedly shows honesty, reliability, and sincerity, trust naturally develops over time. And here's something very important to understand. Loyalty and trust do not mean perfection. Every relationship will have misunderstandings and mistakes. What matters most is the willingness to be honest, to communicate openly, and to work through challenges together. When a woman shows that she is committed to resolving issues instead of abandoning the relationship at the first sign of trouble, that demonstrates real loyalty. It tells a man that the relationship is strong enough to survive difficulties. A loyal and trustworthy partner also creates emotional stability. Instead of constant drama, suspicion, or doubt, the relationship becomes a place of comfort and understanding. A man who experiences that kind of stability begins to feel deeply connected to the woman who provides it, ladies and gentlemen. Loyalty and trust also inspire a man to give the same energy back. When he feels trusted and supported, he becomes more protective of the relationship. He becomes more attentive to his partner's needs and more committed to maintaining the bond they share. Trust is like a bridge between two hearts. It allows both people to walk toward each other without fear. Loyalty is what keeps that bridge strong, even during storms. Together, these qualities create a relationship that feels safe, meaningful, and lasting. When a man finds a woman who genuinely values loyalty and trust, he recognizes that he has something rare. In a world where relationships can sometimes feel uncertain or temporary, finding someone who truly stands by him becomes incredibly special. And when a woman offers that kind of loyalty and trust with sincerity, she becomes someone a man does not easily forget. She becomes the person he wants to protect, cherish, and build a future with, because he knows that the bond they share is built on something real and unshakable. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about something that many people underestimate when it comes to relationships, but it has the power to shape the entire dynamic between two people. One of the traits every man secretly desires in a woman is positive energy and genuine support. Now, this may sound simple on the surface, but when you really understand it, you realize it carries incredible influence over how a relationship grows and survives. Life is not easy for anyone. Every person faces struggles, responsibilities, and moments of doubt. Men in particular often carry a heavy sense of responsibility to succeed, to provide, and to solve problems. The world constantly demands strength from them. Because of that, when a man meets a woman who brings peace instead of pressure, encouragement instead of criticism, and support instead of negativity, she becomes incredibly valuable in his life. Positivity. The energy does not mean pretending that life is perfect or ignoring problems. It means approaching challenges with a mindset that lifts people up rather than pulling them down. A woman who carries positive energy brings a sense of calm and hope into a man's life. When he feels overwhelmed by stress or disappointment, her presence reminds him that things can get better. A supportive woman understands that a relationship is not a competition. She doesn't constantly compare, criticize, or highlight every flaw. Instead, she focuses on helping both partners grow together. When a man feels that his partner is on his side, cheering him on instead of doubting him, something powerful happens inside him. His confidence grows, his motivation increases, and he begins to feel capable of achieving more. Think about the difference between a voice that constantly says, "You're not doing enough," and a voice that says, "I believe in you." That difference can shape how a person sees themselves. A man who hears encouragement from the woman he loves begins to feel stronger and more determined. Her belief becomes fuel for his ambition. Support also means understanding that success and progress take time. There will be moments when a man faces obstacles or temporary failures. During those moments, negativity can easily push someone further into doubt. But when a woman offers patience and reassurance instead of judgment, it creates a safe space where he can recover and keep moving forward. Now, let me tell you something important. Support is not about carrying someone else's responsibilities. It is about standing beside them while they work toward their goals. A supportive woman doesn't solve every problem for a man, but she reminds him that he is not facing the world alone. That feeling of partnership can make an enormous difference in how a man handles life's challenges. Positive energy also influences the emotional atmosphere of a relationship. When negativity dominates, Small disagreements can quickly turn into large conflicts, but when positivity is present, even difficult conversations can be handled with respect and understanding. A woman who approaches situations with calmness and optimism helps maintain balance in the relationship. Another powerful aspect of positive energy is the ability to celebrate achievements, both big and small. When a man accomplishes something, whether it's reaching a goal at work or overcoming a personal challenge, having a partner who genuinely celebrates his progress strengthens the emotional bond between them. It shows that his victories matter and that his efforts are recognized. Support also includes emotional presence. Support also includes emotional presence. Sometimes a man doesn't need advice or solutions. Sometimes he simply needs someone who listens without immediately judging or criticizing. A woman who listens with empathy shows that she cares about his feelings and experiences. That kind of understanding builds trust and emotional intimacy. Positive energy can also influence how a couple handles stressful moments together. When one partner remains calm and hopeful, it often helps the other partner regain perspective. Instead of feeling trapped in negativity, the relationship becomes a place where both individuals find encouragement and reassurance. Now let's talk about the deeper effect of encouragement. When a woman consistently supports a man's dreams and ambitions, it creates a sense of partnership that goes beyond ordinary companionship. He begins to see her as someone who believes in his potential. That belief can inspire him to pursue goals he might otherwise hesitate to chase. Many successful individuals often speak about the importance of having someone who believed in them during difficult times. A supportive partner can be the voice that reminds someone of their strengths when self-doubt begins to creep in. That role is incredibly meaningful in a relationship. Positive energy also helps maintain emotional stability. When both partners focus on solutions rather than blame, the relationship becomes more resilient. Challenges still appear, but they are faced together instead of turning into battles against each other. A man deeply values a woman who brings light into his life instead of constant tension. He appreciates someone who understands that relationships should add strength and happiness rather than increase stress. A woman who carries warmth, encouragement, and optimism becomes someone he naturally wants to be around. Support also creates mutual growth. When two people encourage each other's dreams and development, they build a partnership that evolves over time. Instead of holding each other back, they push each other forward. That kind of dynamic allows both individuals to become stronger versions of themselves. Ladies and gentlemen, positive energy and genuine support are not flashy qualities that grab attention instantly, but they create lasting impact. They shape how two people experience life together. They determine whether a relationship becomes a place of comfort or a source of stress. A man who feels supported by the woman he loves will naturally want to protect that connection. He will recognize that her presence brings balance and strength into his life. And when a woman consistently offers encouragement, patience, and understanding, she becomes more than just a partner in a man's eyes. She becomes someone who inspires him, someone who lifts him higher, and someone whose presence makes his journey through life feel lighter and more meaningful. Ladies and gentlemen, there is another powerful trait that every man secretly admires and deeply desires in a woman, and that is confidence and self-worth. Now, this quality is something that goes far beyond physical appearance or outward charm. Confidence is not about being the loudest person in the room, and it is not about trying to prove superiority over others. True confidence comes from within. It is the quiet understanding of one's own value, the ability to stand tall in who you are without constantly seeking approval from the world. A woman who carries self-worth has a presence that naturally commands respect. She doesn't need to beg for attention, chase validation, or compete for recognition. Chase validation or compete for recognition. Her energy speaks before she even says a word. When a man meets a woman like that, he immediately notices something different about her. When there's a sense of strength in the way she carries herself, a calm assurance that she knows who she is and what she deserves. Confidence changes the entire dynamic of a relationship. When a woman believes in H, her own value, she sets a clear standard for how she expects to be treated. She does not accept disrespect, manipulation, or dishonesty. Instead, she creates boundaries that protect her peace and dignity. And believe it or not, men respect that more than anything. And believe it or not, men respect that more than anything. Many people assume that men want someone who constantly depends on them for validation or direction. But the truth is, most men admire a woman who has her own sense of identity. A confident woman does not lose herself in a relationship. She maintains her passions, her interests, and her personal growth. She chooses a partner not because she needs someone to complete her, but because she wants to share her life with someone who adds value to it. That difference is powerful. When a woman enters a relationship from a place of confidence rather than insecurity, it creates a healthier balance between both partners. The relationship becomes a partnership rather than a dependency. Both individuals bring their strengths, their ambitions, and their personalities together. A woman with strong self-worth also understands that her happiness does not depend entirely on another person. She appreciates love and companionship, but she does not lose her sense of purpose if challenges appear in the relationship. This kind of emotional stability is incredibly attractive to a man because it shows maturity and inner strength. Confidence also affects communication. A woman who respects herself, speaks honestly, and expresses her feelings without fear. She does not hide her thoughts just to avoid conflict, nor does she attack or manipulate to get her way. Instead, she communicates with clarity and dignity. This kind of communication builds mutual respect within the relationship. Men often feel more comfortable and connected when they know the woman they are with can express herself openly and confidently. It removes confusion and allows both partners to understand each other more clearly. Confidence encourages healthy dialogue instead of silent resentment or emotional games. Another important aspect of self-worth is the ability to walk away from situations that do not honor your value. A confident woman does not tolerate behavior that consistently undermines her dignity. She recognizes when a relationship is not aligned with her standards, and she has the courage to protect her peace if necessary. This strength creates respect. A man who sees that a woman values herself understands that he must also treat her with care and sincerity. He realizes that being in her life is not something to take lightly. Her confidence challenges him to rise to a higher level of character and commitment. Confidence also inspires growth in a relationship. When a woman believes in her own potential, she continues to pursue personal development goals and dreams. Her ambition and self-belief can motivate the man beside her to grow as well. Instead of holding each other back, they push one another forward. There is something incredibly powerful about a woman who walks through life with purpose. She does not wait for someone else to define her path. She creates her own direction while welcoming love as a beautiful addition to her journey. That kind of mindset brings excitement and inspiration into a relationship. Self-worth also protects emotional health. A woman who values herself does not allow temporary challenges or criticism to destroy her sense of identity. She understands that mistakes and setbacks are part of life. Instead of losing confidence, she learns, adapts, and continues moving forward. Men admire resilience. When a woman shows strength during difficult moments, it demonstrates character and depth. A man sees that she is not easily shaken by every obstacle, and that stability becomes incredibly appealing. Confidence also encourages authenticity. A woman who is comfortable with herself does not feel the need to pretend or change her personality just to impress others. She embraces who she truly is. This authenticity allows genuine connections to form because the relationship is built on honesty rather than performance. A confident woman laughs freely, expresses her opinions respectfully, and carries herself with grace. She does not shrink herself to fit in someone else's expectations. Instead, she embraces her uniqueness and allows the right people to appreciate her for it. Ladies and gentlemen, when a man encounters a woman who truly understands her value, it leaves a lasting impression. Her presence feels different because it is rooted in self-respect and inner strength. She is not chasing attention, and she is not trying to prove her worth to the world. She already knows it. That quiet certainty is magnetic. It creates a level of admiration that goes beyond surface attraction. A man recognizes that being with a woman like that requires honesty, effort, and respect. And for the right man, that challenge is not intimidating, it is inspiring. When a woman carries confidence and self-worth into a relationship, she elevates the entire experience. She encourages mutual respect, personal growth, and emotional maturity. And because she values herself deeply, the love she offers is not based on fear or insecurity, but on genuine choice and understanding.